Welcome back to our final segment of this edition of Chamber Exchange, the TV show. And none of these segments would happen, nor would the show, if it wasn't for our sponsors, Bank Hometown and St. Vincent Hospital. And in this final segment, I'm pleased to welcome Leslie Baker, who's the Program Director for the Center for Childcare Careers and Family Services of Central Mass, which is an affiliate of Seven Hills Foundation. Leslie,
Thank you,
welcome.
Tim. Appreciate
So
the
that's
opportunity.
quite a title, but hugely important because one of the major impediments and challenges for individuals and families to maximize income opportunities and enter the workforce is kind of some of the issues around childcare, and part of the challenge is there aren't enough spots because there are not enough people employed in the childcare world.
That is correct, Tim. It's a very crucial and critical, as we learned during COVID, one of those cornerstone pieces to economic development, both for the families that are looking to place children into care, for the entrepreneurs that run businesses, and then for the workers that need to go and support their business.
Yeah, and in Massachusetts, it's kind of a multi-tiered system in terms of how child care is provided, right?
Correct.
The public schools do some, and kindergarten and preschool, but a lot of it is driven by entrepreneurs or nonprofits who run child care, daycare, however people might call it, but child care kind of across the patchwork, right?
We are very fortunate in Massachusetts to have a mixed delivery system, which means that parents have choices for what fits right or feels best for their family. And whether that be a child care center where children are educated in a classroom of peers, or a family child care home where they're in mixed age groups constantly, more similar to what traditional family grouping would be.
And so what you've done is launch the first center-based childcare registered apprentice program in Massachusetts. So, as people contemplate careers, or, there's an opportunity to kind of not just get thrown into a classroom, but really kind of learn the right way.
The Executive Office of Labor and Workforce Development was looking for ways to expand apprenticeship beyond the traditional trades, and we saw that opportunity prior to COVID.
Secretary Jones has been very focused on that.
She has been
for a long time.
Yes, and the department wanted to expand into something that hadn't been a traditional industry. So we saw the opportunity because we were watching the pipeline into childcare dwindling even prior to COVID, and then it was just decimated during COVID. So a lot of our centers here in the city have closed, or what is considered darkened classrooms, because they don't have the staff to restaff them. And then there are also people that are looking to open family child care businesses but aren't sure how to navigate the system, or don't have the foundational knowledge to do so competently and be retained in the field. So that's where we saw a niche opportunity and took that opportunity.
And that's really important. I mean, there's a science to teaching and learning even at the youngest ages. And as we were talking with our previous guest in terms of child development and brain and language skills, I mean, having the ability to train someone in childcare and kind of the process and that makes them better, and it helps the child, right?
Right. It helps to position the children for their K-12 educational career, and it's very clear to classroom teachers once children come into the system in kindergarten that whether or not a child has received that support when they were younger, between the ages of birth and 5.
Right. And so much is determined just statistically by if a student is at or not at third grade reading levels. It's scary to see. Right?
Between 3rd and 4th grade, children make a transition from learning how to read to reading to learn. And if they can't make that transition smoothly, they're really challenged for the rest of their academic career, which then limits their opportunities for employment or pathway of what they want to pursue once they become an adult.
Right. So this is just a really good investment for the Commonwealth, for employers, for families to try to get that early education, childcare as soon as possible.
True.
In a professional, well-trained setting.
Yes.
And so the other piece in terms of trying to rebuild the early childcare workforce, but there's also, as we become much more diverse and dual language, Spanish speaking. You're kind of also working in that space to bring more people in.
We've been working with different populations, yes. We have a very diverse residential group in the state of Massachusetts. And there are a lot of people that want to open family child care businesses. Family child care doesn't qualify for the Executive Office of Labor and Workforce Development opportunity at the moment, although that work is ongoing. So we pursued some private funding to help support both Latina, Spanish-speaking educators here in Worcester, and then we also were chosen to be a family child care intermediary by the Department of Early Education and Care. And our first group of people that we worked with there were Portuguese-speaking educators. What that does is optimize the choices available for parents that are seeking care, and they can put their children in a home with someone that honors their culture and their food and music and, so many things that you want children to be immersed in so that they can learn and explore their world.
And so as a family child care intermediary, like what does that work kind of entail?
That means we're doing the same thing as the registered apprenticeship. We're providing 150 hours of what's considered related technical instruction. And then we also provide mentors to work with the practitioners to guide them through their experience and help to answer their questions in real time. They attend class once a week and they go in and apply what they've learned in class in their work in the coming weeks. But there may be a question that arises in the meantime before they get back to class and can ask their teacher or peers there.
Right. And the other piece of this is letting people know that there's kind of career ladders here in the space, right?
There are lots of opportunities once people are working in early childhood education, and it's really up to the educator to choose what they want to do. Some choose to stay classroom teachers or working in family child care. Some aspire to become directors or move up through the post-secondary world and earn higher level degrees to then qualify them for higher opportunities.
Right. And then some of the strategies here to support early child care sector through a synergy grant from the Health Foundation of Central Mass.
Yes.
Health Foundation of Central Mass does a lot of great work on a lot of fronts. But can you talk about that grant?
They absolutely do a lot of great work, and we were fortunate to become one of their awardees in round 6 of their funding. In that opportunity, we are also supporting family child care educators, but we're looking at strategies to support the work that's already happening and to fill gaps that were still happening that wasn't addressed by the other funding sources. So one of the biggest strategies that we're about to launch is called a child care incubator. And what we have done is partnered with the Guild of St. Agnes at their site on Granite Street here in Worcester. And we have been given access to 2 of their darkened classrooms. So it's a win for the Guild because we're using space that was going unused. And what we are doing are selecting family child care educators that ran into some type of a barrier, either opening or operating their businesses in their current homes. We're giving them space in those incubator classrooms to run their business for up to 2 years while they're working with us to resolve the barriers that they ran into. And then we will help them to transition into their home setting so that they can continue operating their businesses independently.
Wow.
And ideally, we'll be backfilling those classrooms with other educators.
So a regular churn of creating or supporting childcare businesses and organizations.
Yeah, we're very excited because the Health Foundation was very supportive of this, and it's the third opportunity in the nation.
Wow.
With an incubator. So it's new, it's innovative, and it seems like it will be a very promising solution for people that are running into challenges.
Right. So if someone's out there, they're interested in, exploring or having a conversation about a potential career or going through an apprenticeship program, someone's out there that interested maybe starting a business in this space or getting some of this support that you've talked about in training, how do they get a hold of you and website?
The easiest way to do that is to look for the Seven Hills Foundation website.
Seven Hills Foundation.
Yes. If you look for the Center of Child Care Careers, you will find it there, and all my contact information is available there. Family Services also has a Facebook page, and we can get to people there too.
Well, Leslie, thank you. Really important subject and topic, and you're doing some great work, it sounds like.